So if you would have bet $100, would you bet that the Red Sox are going to make the playoffs or finish last place again?
The latter.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the latter. I will say Baseball Brett was talking to me yesterday about the Sox. Wanted me to ask you a question, Curtis.
Okay.
Would you prefer that this season the Sox finish in last place and that somehow compels ownership to do something, or that they somehow, they're 4.5 back on that last wild card spot, that they get it and they feel complacent?
Yeah, I would rather the first thing you mentioned.
Okay.
I feel like...
Will ownership finally react, though, if they finish in last?
I think they have to.
But we've said that, Wiggy, last offseason, you said it's Shohei time because they had to act. You said it over and over again,
Yes,
and I agreed. They are not. This is just...
But their plan was, Curtis, I think, was this year of being not a year, and I know they say, oh, they always get high expectations in the building. I don't always believe that, but I think they looked at it like, we don't have great high expectations. The chances of us getting Shohei might be slim. We made a little bit of a run for Yamamoto, but this offseason, when you re-sign Cora to 3 years, you're telling us that you expect to win between now and the time he leaves. So I almost feel like the re-signing of Cora was a great thing because now it puts their feet to the fire to do something this offseason to really put a competitive
I
team.
disagree with you. I feel like if Cora left, they would have to spend because they couldn't lean on the manager as the face of the organization.
Yeah, but Cora's got to get to the point where he's like, if I'm going to come back and do this job, I got to do it with a team that can realistically compete for a World Series. He's not coming back here to
You could make promises, though, and not fulfill them. Like the front office could tell Alex Cora all that he wants to hear to make sure that he signs on a dotted line.
But you don't have to do that much. Like you look, we talked about it earlier, but you look at last night, it's the bullpen over and over and over again. You get a starting pitcher,
right?
You get a righty bat,
high-end bullpen guy,
and you're right there.
And don't you think with Breslow, do you believe him when he says that the only way that you have a successful season is a World Series? Like when he comes on this show and says that, I think in their minds this was a successful season because they did play better than most people thought they were going to for most of the season.
But they're going to finish up in the exact same
I know,
place.
but I think for most of the season they were able to kind of take victory laps around criticizers.
I think they are resting on the laurels of the prospects, and that they locked down Cora, and the future is bright, and so they are going to hope that that's enough to get you
but
there.
See, do you think Cora's a smart guy?
Yeah.
Right. So there's no way that Cora is signing on the dotted line.
Wiggy, a texter says he got $21 million. He doesn't care.
No, I don't buy that. I think Cora, you could tell it even though I might criticize him, you could tell that it hurts that his team is irrelevant. And there's no way he comes back, especially with his resume, because you guys always talked about it. Cora could have landed, 10 other places and got that money. So there's no way he's coming back under, them going, well, we're just kind of like building off the young guys. And no, I think Cora said, I'll come back, but we really have to be a significant player when it comes to this offseason with adding guys that we know are proven in this league and high-end talent to go with some of these young kids.
I just sit here and I see them standing on the prospects that other people brought in as a reason to buy into Craig Breslow, and I laugh at it. Because Craig Breslow, sadly won't be joining us tomorrow, has
not?
must have had a conflicting event at 9 a.m. on Thursday.
Busy.
I mean, somehow I think if the team was on a 7-game winning streak, they might be free. But, what do I know? There's been no evidence that he has any clue what the hell he's doing. And so you enter this offseason based on the top. They're going to sell Baseball America. Greg mentioned it. They have all these prospects in the top 100. None of them were brought in by the people that are currently running the baseball team. So I want to believe you, Wiggy. I want to think that they're going to invest, but I have nothing to base that on.
Well, you know why they're sitting on all those prospects? We talked about it a little bit. Really making big moves this offseason. You ask for a right-handed bat, I mean, maybe you go after a guy like Vlad Guerrero. There are some of those things. What did in Juan Soto from the Yankees, isn't he only on a 1-year deal with them? So there's another possible guy that could be hitting free agency that maybe you make a run at. So I think maybe they say we got some of these young prospects, and if we need to trade them, we're able to do that in the offseason to go out and get your high-end starting pitcher that you want, Greg, or your high-end bullpen guy, and maybe they use some of those prospects to dangle.
You just reminded me, question for you, which I was asked yesterday by William, my very good friend at Echelon, the works on the weekdays at Echelon. Great guy, loves the show.
What up, Willie?
Fantastic, unbelievable guy.
I call him Liam.
Do you think he does not believe it is right in the universe that Shohei is going to, everybody thinks he should be MVP when he's only DHing this season? Do you have an issue with that?
I don't have an issue with that. I think it's, I don't really, because isn't it really about what you could do? I mean, he's the first guy to go, what does he have, 45 stolen bases and 40-plus home runs?
Yeah, he could join the 50-50 club.
Right, so, I mean, and you look at his career and think he could be, obviously he'll be probably pitching next year, but I could see Shohei. It's probably going to go to Aaron Judge, but I could see Shohei, getting MVP. I don't really care if it's a DH. He's a big part of in the world of the baseball guys. I know Curtis is the baseball guy. What's the one? Is it the WAR stat?
Yeah, win above replacement.
Yeah, so I bet that's pretty high for a guy like Shohei.
Judge will be American League MVP. Shohei.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so I would have no problem with that at all. Why does he need to play the field?
Well, you have others who are, in contention who do both.
Right, but in baseball, it's like, all right, if you don't play the field, so what? I mean, like Aaron Judge, do we ever talk about his fielding abilities? I know he's got a pretty good arm from right field, but it's not like that's not what's going to win him the MVP. It's what he does at the plate. Isn't that more like the biggest thing in baseball?
Yeah.
So